2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Hello everybody, welcome to Access Now. This is Dustin, your host, and I'm going to do some painting with you today. And today is going to be something special, as I want to do something that reminds me of the beach. And so, excuse me, I absolutely love, I'm not a beach body, you know what I mean? I don't have a beach body, so that makes sense. But I absolutely love going to the beach, and I love relaxing on the beach. And one of my favorite things is to go to Hawaii. I absolutely love Hawaii. So today we're going to keep it simple. Beach colors. Again, $2 brush, $2 paint tray, $2 paints. Keep it simple. And we got ourselves some teal, some blues, reds, orange. Just a lot of colors to blend in here. And we're going to do ourselves a beautiful beach scene. Now I'm going to start by blending in some dark teal or turquoise. And we want to blend down to a lighter teal, and then we're going to put in some clouds. Then we're going to hit it with some trees, beautiful sand, maybe a wave in the ocean. How about that? Does that sound good? I think it does. Try and decide how far down I want to go on this dark teal. Now, there is one thing about the cheaper paints. You could put them through a little sift and siphon them. Get all the little knickknacks out of the paint, but I don't think I'm going to worry about that too much. So here's a little cheat sheet. You can go and put all the paint you want on your canvas. A lot of people are afraid to put paint on their brush. And I'm telling you, it's vitally important to get paint on that brush, right? Now, I do both sides. I'll put lots of paint on there because I want it to go on thick. Now the key is, the cheat sheet, is when you're got it all blended on there, just go back and forth with your brush slightly, edge to edge, and that'll slowly start smoothing all that background out and make it nice and soft. So next I'm going to mix in a little bit of the lighter color with the color that we already got on there. And what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to go down too much further because I want some clouds in there. But here's what it does. It allows you to blend up into that next color and down. It's like, oh, it doesn't really look like it. Well, you know what? How about we just go straight? Straight, soft, almost like a seafoam color. And I love these colors. Again, they remind me of the beach in Hawaii. And that's definitely one of my favorite places on earth. Is Hawaii, that I've been to anyway right now. I have done a bit of traveling. I do love to travel. That's one of my joys of life. Love to get out and experience the world. And so one place I truly fell in love with was Hawaii. I had wanted to go there for the longest time, and I didn't get to go till I was, almost in my 30s. And I wanted to go there since I was probably in my teens. It reminds me of another trip I wanted to do when I was young. And that trip was to go to Israel. I don't know why I had a passion inside me to go to Israel. And it took me 42 years of my life to finally get to Israel. I did Egypt and Israel, and it was just absolutely gorgeous over there. And I don't regret that trip for anything. And they have beautiful beaches over there, I'll tell you this right now. They got the Mediterranean Sea, one of my favorite places to stop over there. We got to relax. That was the Dead Sea. The Dead Sea was just absolutely stunning. The salt, my word. You know the coarse salt that you get and you can put in your salt shakers? I'm not talking about the ground up stuff, the fine stuff, but that coarse stuff, man, you could pull that right out of the water over there. You could pull that right out of the water. That is just absolutely stunning to be able to see that, feel that, and I'm telling you, try and float in that sea. You don't even have to try. And it's almost like pushing a balloon down in water is what I always try and tell people. And I say when you do that, that's kind of the feel of what it's like here to swim in the Dead Sea. Don't put your head under. If you get salt in your eyes, it's terrible. If you get on your lips, it's absolutely terrible because that'll go in your mouth and it's just not cool. Not fun. But you know what? It was absolutely stunning over there. And on the other place I got to go to is the Red Sea. Now, I never swam in the Red Sea, but it was beautiful. Nice water. See, we went in, what was it, March. And so it was after, their winter. Not that they have winter compared to us here in Canada, but you know what I'm talking about. And so, yeah, it was absolutely just a gorgeous trip to be able to experience all those places and things. And it just reminds me of, the beaches and the good trips out there. So now what I want to do is I'm going to start building up a little bit of clouds. Now we're just going to make it look like a little bit of a storm cloud over here or something like that. It's just, hovering through the sky. It's going to have a little bit of maybe soft pink, or I'm going to put pink, a little bit of orange together with it. And then what I want to do is add a hint of white. Yeah. It's almost a peachy color, right? And now I'm going to go in and start making some swirls. I'm going to make sure you can all see on that camera. Now, normally what I would do is I would come back once this is dried a little more, and I would come back in there and I would start adding some clouds and stuff like that. So the color it sticks a little more, right? But what's kind of cool about this is it dries fast, so you don't have to worry about that. And even though it might not look really good right now, it's kind of a really good base coat underneath, so that when I come back a little bit later, I'll highlight that up. Now, I'm mainly getting this here so I can fill it in a bit. And I want to do a little bit of pink and blue. Excuse me. A little bit of phlegm in the throat today. Try not to let it affect our painting. So I'm going to start with a little bit of maybe some clouds here. It's going to be the darker stuff that comes in through. Maybe you want to see it come up through here. All right. Now maybe we want a little more of it. Maybe it should be a little bit darker, in one spot. I'll see if I can make it just a touch darker. And we'll go maybe a little bit more towards the pink side. I added just a touch red to that. Yeah. Yes, sir. So what I want to do is just make it look like those clouds are just kind of moving across the water here. Go back into that peachy color. Make it look like it's here just a bit. All right. Now, I'm not going to go down too much further with the clouds. I want them to sit on the edge of the water right here. That's kind of what I'm thinking. But I'm going to have a little bit of yellow underneath there. So I'm going to clean my brush. I think I'm okay with I think. I think I'm okay here. And again, just do swirls. Just do swirls. We want some nice colors in this. It's kind of pastel colors, almost like a pastel painting. All those colors mixed together. Now, I'm going to come back and put some edges on there, like the sun's hitting the back sides of them. We'll use white for that. It's not hard to do. Now, should I do it now, or should I wait for it to dry a little bit? I think I want to wait for it to dry just a little bit. So I'm going to go into some yellow. And I'm going to come down here. And again, I don't want to put a whole lot because I want that water to start just underneath this. If there's too much there, then it's just, we're going to go down too far. I'm not going to have enough room for the beach. And I still want water. I want maybe a wave in here and some beach, a little bit of beach land that we're going to fill in. Now on this other side, we'll just make it look like some of that sun is shining through, hitting those clouds over there. More orange and yellow. Orange and yellow. And we'll bring it down and blend it in a little bit. Blend it in a little bit. Blend it in a little bit. Okay. I think we're in the all right spot there. And I just like how they all just kind of blend together. And again, you can take some solid orange and add a little bit of highlights to one of those edges. Now, I'm going to go back over there and hit up that pinky color, okay? Now, I'm going to go a little bit, I just put a little bit of red and orange together. And again, I'm actually going to put a little pink in there too now. Yeah, a touch of white, just a hint of white. I might go a little more orange. I like more towards that peachy side. Yeah, there you go. It's okay. Didn't have to be perfect. We're just getting those colors in there. And again, just to touch up one more edge. I'm just going to go back into the purple. So it's a little bit of blue. I like to mix a lot of my colors. A lot of people don't do that. They have all their colors all set up, and they have their purples, and they have, their pinks and whatever they're going for. And in reality, it's like, yeah, that's cool and all, but you're really going to start learning your colors by the more you get a chance to mix them yourself. And that's when the colors are just going to start to pop. You're going to understand colors just a little bit more. Thankfully, today there's this thing called the internet. And you can go on the internet and you can start just looking at the color wheel or AI, whatever, or with ChatGPT, all these things, and you can just ask it questions. Which two colors makes this, and you can come up with every bit of colors you can think of, every bit of color you're thinking. And what's funny, today I was talking to someone about colors, and they said they were painting their bathroom, and they went to pick a color and found out it was completely wrong because when they put the chip on the wall, they didn't realize that they had put it in a shadow. And so when it finally, when they went to pick the color of the green that they wanted, it was not what they expected. And they were being questioned by the store clerks, and they're like, are you sure about this? And she's like, oh yeah, I'm sure. But when she finally got on the wall, well, she was not sure. She was not sure. So again, what's cool about it is you can always repaint. This is just a little bit of proof that it's okay to repaint. I do this with a lot of stuff. I do one layer, And what it is, it's kind of like I mentioned before in a show, that it's just kind of like, it's blocking in. It's kind of just getting your ideas of what you want. And if you got time, obviously, sometimes you don't have time to do that, but we have a little bit of time. So now that I got these shaped out, I want to hopefully catch them while they're still wet. I'm gonna go into the white. And now it's gonna be the fun part. I want to start blending those edges. Then we'll come to a spot where it's not gonna want to blend very well. It's gonna start picking up that other color. That's okay. Right? That's okay. Those top edges we really want to make it look like that sun is just sitting over that edge, right? Some areas are going to be brighter than others. That's why you can go into like a straight white. And do a straight white, and I don't mind some of those colors peeking through. Not at all. Kind of maybe bring it down in a little bit. Kind of separate little cloud areas. Okay, I think I'm okay with that. Now I'm going to go in white again. I'm just going to touch it in the purple. That's where I start off with, because then I know it's going to kind of marble and give us an edge over here as well. So, right. Now it might not be as much down in here, but that's okay. Just a little bit, just to show the separation. And you're kind of blending it in with your purple. May have to go back into my purple. Right. All right, just some little cloud edges. Let's see here. And again, I might have to touch some of those areas with straight white. Just that top ridge, where that sun is just peeking through, maybe. Just peeking through, maybe. Don't have to worry so much once you get down, because the sun's being blocked by those clouds there, but you still want the illusion, so to speak, that there is some light popping through different areas, because, man, a lot of people don't realize that light bends. And it starts to move, and so when it hits those clouds, well, sometimes you'll see it shoot straight down towards like the water or the land or whatever, and you're sitting there thinking, man, if that sun is is so far away and on that angle, how in the world is it shooting straight down? It doesn't make sense, does it? But you know what? It bends. And that's why. So I'm going to go a little more purple. Maybe a touch of blue. We'll see how it goes here. A little bit darker. A little bit darker. All right. Just to catch those edges a little bit better in some spots. All right. All right, I kind of like that. Now we're gonna get into the orange, and then we'll hit some yellow. We'll do maybe some yellow edges. Maybe the orange, we'll do more white and orange together instead of just pure white. Maybe a little bit of yellow and orange together, More towards the yellow instead of just the white. I'm gonna throw a little bit of white in there. Just a really light peach. A really light peach. So it's not white. Again, I might throw some spots in there where that white hits, but right, I think we're okay with this. And the key is to kind of slowly blend it down into what you already have there, right? Just so it looks like it becomes a part of it. You want to make it look like it becomes a part of it. Now, you know what? I hit up some white. Make sure you get the white on the right side. Right. On the right side of that brush. All right, right there is where that is going to hit. Maybe down through here a little bit. Now, if you get it down through here, and that means you got to blend a little bit more further down to make it look like it's a part of it. All right, I think I like where we're going with that. It's a nice little set of clouds along there, and don't be afraid of covering up and having a whole lot of sky up here. We want some sky up there because we want to put some palm trees up there. We want to make it look good, right? We want those palm trees to stand out and look really bright. I might add a little more highlight into that purple. And just pick some spots. You know what? It's kind of cool when you start mending some of those colors together. It's like, you know what? It's a little bit of reflection maybe of that orange cloud on the front side of this purple one. And it just adds some character to it. And it just adds some character to it. Now with the yellow there, we're going to go yellow. I hope this works, because I have muddied up the colors a little bit. And we're just going to try and put a little bit of yellow and white. Make it look like it's hitting some spots. And I'll go back in there in a minute and kind of fix some stuff up. Maybe we want straight yellow, right? Maybe we want a cloud to go up a little bit higher. Right there. Right there, just like that. How's that look? I think that'll look okay. I really am not satisfied with that orange. Yeah, there we go. I'll go into a second round of this. Now the key is, because it's, again, still a little wet under there, just put on in little layers. A lot of people, they think they got to blend their colors so far. They have to paint every little part of the cloud and with that one little bit they got on their brush, and it's like, no, don't do that. Keep adding more and more paint, and what that'll do is just make those colors pop that little bit more, especially if they're hard to blend. White especially, you know, you gotta add a lot of white to it if you're gonna make it stand out, right? If you want those highlights, those light colors to stand out, you gotta add more of them. So, and we are. That's what we're doing right now. I'm okay with that. I'm gonna add just a little bit of yellow across the bottom, down a little bit further, so that we can put our horizon line with the teal. But in order to do that, I just need to go across the bottom with a bit of a yellow. I don't want to go too, you know what, I'm going to do yellow and orange together. Just over on the left side here. Yeah, that's better. That's more sunset. All right. And I will say this. When you're painting and you find that it's starting to dry out, especially because acrylics, we're using acrylics, right? We're not getting fancy with the oil paints. We could. There's a million oil painting artists out there that are just so good and so talented. So many different channels. I mean, I can do it. Hey, we'll do it. How about one show I'm going to pull out all my oil paints and we'll do that, and I'll show you how to use the oil brushes, and we'll just have some fun with oils. But I like acrylics. I use it a lot. You can really get fancy with them if you want. Again, I'm just going to keep blending a little bit till I'm satisfied. Put more and more highlights in there. More and more highlights. You know, I did a paint class today in the school, in the high school here, and it was such a fun group. And so much fun when you know so many of them. But on the other hand, will they listen to you, right? Or you get the kids to listen to you. Sometimes they just don't want to listen. And they get ahead of themselves, and it's like, slow it down. Slow it down, listen a little bit. Okay, we're at a place where I'm going to start adding in the water. Now, it's on an angle, I don't care. I'm going to cut across here with that teal. Clean my brush one more quick time here. Make sure that's all nice and clean and dried out good. Always dry your brush out good, please. Now, first thing you would think is go dark blue way at the back. But no, I want to mix a little bit of the light blue, light teal, and dark together. Because I don't want it too dark. Because I want, when I do the wave, I want the wave to stand out. And that wave is going to have a little bit of the dark color in it. And so it'll stand out amongst this beautiful teal. Oh, man. If you ever get a chance, I don't care where you go, go to some island. Go to some place on the ocean where you can go and watch the sunset. Where that sunset hits, and it hits up into the clouds, and it just makes the sky turn to fire. And it's unbelievable what it does. Unbelievable. Just a little bit further down, I think, with the teal. And then we'll see that little, I don't care if I get a little bit of dark blue in there, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. I'm going to mix it in there anyway. It's just going to look like little waves, a part of the waves, but I don't want that because I want that wave to sit right in the middle. So I want to see if this teal, I might have to get a darker teal in there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just come across with that teal. And I'm going to pick a spot where I want that wave to kind of break. And we're going to fill it in. Now, could have waited a little bit longer for it to dry. And it'll pop a little more. And that is very true. It will. But time is of the essence. And I don't know how much time we have to make sure that I can finish this. Now, kind of like what I got going on there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let that part dry, okay? The reason is I'm going to come back in a little bit after in a minute. I'm going to hit it with the white on the edges, the sea foam, and then I'm going to hit it with a little bit more darks. I mean, I could take it just a touch of dark in there, see if I can. Yeah, we'll put a touch of black in with that turquoise color. We'll see if we can darken up inside that little swell. Now it does a little bit. The concept's getting there. But I'll make it a little bit darker and it'll go on a little bit smoother once it's dry, and I'll come back for that. But you can see the concept of where we're going. We want this, or it's going to be dark in there. Again, it's still mixing with the color underneath. So it's not going to be as dark as what we want it to be, but we'll make it look good. Now on that back edge is what we're talking. I might just add a little bit of a dark edge. So one really cool thing at night in Hawaii is at sunset, I don't know if it happens all the time, it's a tradition that they seem to have, is the sailboats come out. And they all go across the front of the beach, back and forth, while the sun's going down, and it's just such a gorgeous sight. It is so cool to see. And I'll never forget stuff like that. So it always makes me want to go back and experience it again. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Now that we've come to the front, we're going to start, I'm going to try, start getting a little bit lighter because we're going to get going towards the shore, right? So, added white. Add a little white. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, look at that. All right. So, keep marbling that. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. It just looks like it's part of the smoothness of the water anyway, right? Now, I'm going to go back. Maybe add a little wave back there. There's a little bit of a breakout there. Ooh, one of my favorite places to go sit. Now, I love Waikiki Beach, but I love Sunset Beach, and I love North Shore. Oh, man, the sound of the bonsai pipeline. Woo, that wave just crashing. That is such a beautiful sound. You could sit there and close your eyes and just fall asleep in that, and it just sounds so cool. But let's see how I want to do this. We're going to get some white in here. We're going to start making some seafoam. But I think before we do that, we need to make brown. Do y'all know what makes brown? Cleaning your brush does first. It helps. It starts the process. Brown is made from green and red. Then because I have a little bit of orange on my plate, I'm going to throw some orange in there. But I got to throw some white in there. Now, and I also have yellow on my plate. That's another bonus. And that's going to lighten it up a little bit more. I want it to be a beachy color, so it's got to be really light sand. Yeah, that orange and yellow are going to push it towards that light sand. Yeah, that's a little dark. Little dark. We're getting there, though. We're getting there. Lots of paints, lots of paint, lots of paint. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some places where I want some of those waves to pop out. So don't worry about what I did there. Yeah, a little bit of green popping through that brown. But that's okay. That's okay. Clean the brush. Go back into your brown that you made. And just fill it in. And we'll make that brown come all the way to the bottom. I just want to make sure you're seeing this. We'll go down just a little bit here. We'll go down enough that we can see the wave and we can see the bottom. Whew! Accidentally mixed some more colors together. It's not what we wanted to do here, sir. It's not what we wanted to do here, sir, because that's changing the color completely. You know what? It is what it is. That's more, we'll just mix it all together. Why not? Just blend it together. Don't get so frustrated over something you can't fix. Just push it together until it works. Or make it work somehow. Make your variation of it. I don't know. Make your variation of it. So now we got that. I'm going to go back in. I just want to finish with that teal, turquoise, light, very light turquoise. Let's see, we're going to put it all the way up to the beach shore, and it's blend it in there, yeah. Blend it in there, yes. Look at that. Because we saved that light color for last to blend with that beach. It's just going to make it feel like it's a part of it. Slowly being a part of that beach. Oh, how cool that is. That's pretty neat. I think so anyway. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this brush away and I'm going to grab a smaller brush. More of a liner brush. Providing I can find it. All right. Now, it's just a thin, small brush. Long bristles if you can get them. Not very expensive. Now you can put up money and get real liner brushes for doing detailed lining work. And that's pretty wild in itself, but I don't need that today. So I'm just going along that edge of that wave. Because that sea foam is slowly starting to build up across it, right? Once you get over here to where that bends over, that's where we're going to pull it right over that edge like that. And we're not going to make it perfectly parallel because we want the break to follow how it's going to break when you see it in life. Right? You're going to see it kind of break this part and work its way back to that edge. All right. And if you really want to get fancy, you can just do circles up top. See, look at that. Circles on top of that edge. Working our way over, right? Working our way over. Get thinner as you go over. Don't get too fancy. And then just work it out to that edge. Look at that. How hard was that? Not very. And then you can keep layering your paint in there a little bit. And then, here's the fun part. Just dab on some white, okay? So what we're going to do is we're just dabbing on some white, and it's going to make it look like some sea foam is just spraying out there. Now you can take your brush and get a little bit of white on it and spray it by using the bristles and pulling back with your finger. But I'm not worried about that right now. I just want to make it look like... Yes, sir. Look at that. Love that. Little break. A little bit thicker white here. And I might come back just a little bit later if I have time. We'll see, and I'll lighten that up a little bit more. We're going to get into the fancy stuff here in just a second. So now, I might take a little bit of that blue and white, and I'm just going to pick a couple little spots where I think that sun is just hitting that little area, and it's popping through that little bit. Might even have to go a little bit lighter. Yeah, there you go. And it's just looking like that sun's hitting that top edge just a little bit in one area. Nothing fancy. Okay? And then it gets dark. Why does it get dark? Because it's getting into the tunnel. Just going to put a little more black and blue together. Black and turquoise, that is. I really want to darken that area a little bit more. And just blend it out a little bit. See that? Looks like that edge is just... Sun's not shining through there yet. That wave is just too thick. And then we'll pull it back down here a little bit more. That's good. I'm happy with that. All right, we got a nice little wave there. Now here's the key. Wash your brush really good. And maybe you have to add just a little bit of white or water here, but to your white. Because we want it thin. We want that brush to come off. We want the paint to come off the brush really easy. And then, right, just little wrinkles in the water. Right? Just little water lines. Mm-hmm. All right. And we'll start putting some down here again. Doesn't have to be fancy. Just make it look like something's there. Small ones. And don't go put these big, huge lines. That's why you got to keep it thin on your brush. What that does is it allows it so that it just comes off really easy, really thin. And you don't get crazy fancy, you know. Again, keep things simple. Keep things simple. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. That foam is just kicking. That foam is just kicking. All right. We're almost at the good part. Actually, to be honest with you, I love the waves, so I think the waves is the good part. All right. Look at that. I like how that's looking. Maybe a few more over here. Little ones. Maybe that wave is finally. Just keep it moving. Don't go straight with it. Just keep it moving. Keep it moving. The more you get to the shore, the more you want to kind of zigzag that pattern like it's coming up on the beach. Right? Because we want to work our way up. Watch this. We could put another little wave. I'm not worried about that today. But watch. I'm going to make it look like that last little bit of that sea foam has just worked its way up on that beach. Don't make it exactly on that line. Like you can, right? Look at that. And it's just looking like that sea foam is just making its way on that beach shore. Lots of room for your little wave patterns in there. Right? I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Maybe it's getting a little closer together here. Don't go too crazy. Keep it simple. Look at how good that is. Simple, to the point. It looks like it's proper, right? Make sure you get those white waves to stand right out. You want them to stand right out. All right. This is looking good. I like it. I like where we're going with this. This is a good one, people. I want to put a few more down here with this little wave. Connect them a little bit. Right? Look at that. You can even, if you really want to, I might go a little bit of a turquoise color in there, just a bit. Maybe you want them to come out, you know? Right? Maybe you want to make it look like up in here, it's just a little bit of sun before it comes down. Right? Like it's just hitting that top edge. Just like it's hitting that top edge. Then you can take that teal color that you're using there. Make some more of those lines. Just like that. I think I'm okay with that. I like where we're going. Yep, we're at a perfect spot. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go in, clean our brush really good. Super duperly good. Dry it good. So you don't have to dry this one that great, to be honest with you. I'll tell you why. Just mix in your black, because we're going black. And we want a good little bit of paint on our brush, but we want to keep it thin. We're going to draw paint. Paint. I'm going to draw one tree. We're going to bring it all the way down to here. Yeah. I'm working it up at the top. I'm going to bring it back down to that area. And I want to make sure that you can see this. Yeah, we can see it. We can see it. We got it. All the way up, all the way down, okay? This is where it gets tough, because it's kind of scary to take your painting and just throw a big black tree in there. Now, again, if you see how it's not coming off that smooth, it was at the start. Further down I went, the less it came off. Add a bit of water. Yep, see that? See that water? That just started to fill all that right in. Just fill it all right in. All right, I like that one. Now let's do a couple skinny ones. Keep your your brush super thin, super thin. By that I mean just as thin as you can get it. Now, what are we gonna do here? Maybe I got a couple friends that hang out here. These guys are gonna come over here just like that. Same. Again, if it's not coming off good, add some water. I'm trying a second time without the water. And then again, same bat thing, same bat channel. All right, we got two there. Let's put one more. Let's put one more right beside. Oh, did I touch some green? Looks like I did. That's not what we're wanting. We're wanting black. We'll save the green for a minute. We're gonna make this one come down. It's gonna come over and hit there. Yeah. These long skinny ones, they can bend a little bit. I'm telling you, these things are pretty strong. These things are pretty strong. Push down a little bit harder once you get down here. There, now I like that. Fairly happy with that for the most part. But on this side, I want one that maybe it cuts across to here. I don't want to go a whole bunch of trees, but yeah, you know, this one's just peeking through. Sideways. Wind has really got a hold of this guy. Pushing it over there. So, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to do one little piece that connects to this one right here. All right. I feel I didn't make that top very good. These tops, let's just make them go to the top. How about that? Let's just not waste our time. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to start by doing the shadows. See what we got here. We got about 5 minutes. We're okay. I'm going to start by doing the shadows of how I want those palm leaves. So, bringing them down on an edge. I just want the one side to show. So in reality, you can just bring it down and kind of lift it off as you go. Picking those spots. See, look at that. I like that. We're going to go up and make sure you can see it. Right there, okay? So I'm going to do a couple more, a couple small ones. I just bring that edge around, and then I kind of bring some other little shoots off that, okay? Now, if I don't have time, I'm not going to color these in, which is fine. If I do, we'll color them in. Now I'm going to make this one shoot up from here. Yeah, that's how we want it. There's one. This guy's kind of blowing sideways like an umbrella. This has been hit with a lot of wind. I'll tell you that right now. You can tell by the shape of it, right? This guy, well, he's going to bend right down. He's going to bend right down. Nothing wrong with that at all. What else we got here? Yeah, this guy will shoot up and over a little bit. One more. Why not? This guy got really tossed around. We'll just say that's what happened anyway. We're going to make it like this guy's starting somewhere up in here. We're going to bring a couple down just like that. That makes sense? Is that making sense to you? Then we want to shoot it off this way and have a couple more over here. One more back here. Just don't fill it all in so it's all completely black, you know? You want to have some places where those trees just kind of stand out and you have the space behind them, right? Show that depth in your pictures. All right, we're just about done these guys. Maybe one more. One more. Why not? Start up here. Okay. I kind of like that. I'm going to lift this up a little bit so I can get to the bottom of it. Now from here, I'm just going to put in a few leaves down here just to cover this area, right? Just like some ones that are on the ground. Maybe this palm tree got knocked over. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe it's just really close to us. Maybe it's just the field of view. No, there's some little trees and stuff like that that are right close to the ground. And they're just same look. All right, one more, up a little bit higher. All right, there. Okay, I can do that. I'm okay with that. Last little thing here, maybe we'll. What do we want to do? I know we forgot over here. I want a couple palm tree branches to come down from here, from this tree, right? I'm going to put just a touch more water in here. We're just about done. We're just about done. Now again, you could go back and you can add some color to here, to these guys, and it makes it stand out a little bit more. I'd add a black and a little bit of green together, and kind of pick some areas that you want to go over and you want to highlight it, right? Because we got our shadows here. That's what the blacks are for, and they're great if you want to keep them just black. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that at all. But if you go in there and highlight stuff, man, it's just going to add to it. It's just going to add to it, right? So we'll just pull up my liner brush. And we're going to go into the black. We're just going to pull up maybe some grass that's around it, some little plants. Just so it's not alone. Just so it's not alone down there. Here's a few plants. Again, I'm shooting from the ground up here. Don't want to make it too wild, right? Maybe it deserves one more. Maybe this is, you have to come through some trees just to see that beach. It's where you finally get onto that beach and it's just a hidden gem. Some of the best beaches in the world are those hidden gems. Right? Right? Well, I think that's going to have to suffice. Simple thing to do if you want to end it with this is you take your red, you take your brown, well, you make it brown from the green, red, orange, yellow. And what you can do is you can just pick a side if you want, and you can work your way up the side and just give it some just a few highlights. Nothing crazy, just a few highlights. Right? Just a few. If you want, you can marble that and you can make it look really good. Pull it from the left side over. That's what I'm doing anyway. Sometimes I pull a little bit farther than what I should, but that's enough. All right. Well, I think we're out of time. I'm just going to touch up with one green, a little bit of black, and just show you quick, and then I'll sign it up here that you can just go over top of some areas that you want to highlight it, or that you want those branches to stand out just like that. Does that make sense? And that'll make it stand out for sure. I'm just going to pick a couple and just follow the same pattern as how you shot it down, right? And I'm going to show maybe just a couple over here, right? So the key is just to go back. You're not filling it all in. You're just picking a couple spots to highlight, okay? And then when you want to get really crazy, yeah, just a touch of yellow. And then I'll end with this. I know I say that 5 times, right? Yeah, I'll end with this. And you just pick a few more spots up top. And those just throw in some little highlights to make them stand out just a little bit more. Make it look like those trees are there. Don't go over everything you've done earlier. Cover it all up. You need those shadows in there. Look at that. And I think we have ourselves a painting. There we go. There we go. Perfect. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for joining me today. And hope you enjoy beaches as much as I do. Have a wonderful day. God bless. And happy painting, people. And there it is. Bye for now.